I'm not the type of person that every time a new MacBook comes out, I'm just like, oh, I gotta get it. It has 3 more cores. I have to like, my neck hurts using this monitor.
If you could collaborate with one other creator, who would it be?
I mean, from a financial standpoint, Mr. Beast. Funny story behind this, since we're telling all stories.
Let's go.
For some reason, I'm in Michigan. It's super cold, and so I'm at a random house, and so I'm just gonna see if it's open. Definitely a lot warmer in here. To the dojo. Who could this be?
Hey!
With over 237,000 subscribers and almost 1,000 videos made in the past decade on this platform, today's video is going to be all about Kevin the Tech Ninja. We're not only going to see exclusive access into his studio, but also learn how he creates videos, from prepping to filming to post-production, learning his secrets along the way. When did you start your channel?
YouTube will tell you I started my channel back in 2009. I've always been into technology. My thing is to make technology accessible to humans.
One of the best lessons for newer creators is put more time than you currently are into prepping for videos. I'm always fascinated by how different creators prepare to go into production and post. Do they just wing it? Do they write specific scripts or just lay some sticky notes around? How do you prep for a video?
I'm gonna explain to you how I wanna prep for a video, and then I'm gonna explain to you what it actually looks like. So something to be said about having a physical whiteboard, because I do like the satisfaction of crossing something off when I finish it. So like my goals for the day, I literally right here. Actually, I already finished this yesterday. So we talked about Milanote, how I want to stay organized, and I like the idea of organization, but it doesn't work out this way. For example, let's say MacBook Air review after 30 days. I come in here and then I have a title idea, nothing under the to-do list at all, but I do keep track of videos I've completed and also videos that are in progress and ideas that I have as well. So I sort of have that going, but I just don't have stuff in there. What actually happens for the most part is that I'm scrambling like crazy, trying to make the script readable to a point where I like it. And then from there, I just start shooting a ton of B-roll, and I pray that it's enough footage to cover my A-roll, just being honest.
Of course, one of the first things that I'm interested in learning about a creator is the type of gear they use.
So the camera that I'm using is the Sony a7S3. I'm really bad at like gear. Yeah, a7S3. I have an a7 III as well. My go-to lighting setup has to be the Aperture 120D. And that's typically what I use. Sometimes I'll use a secondary light. It's another Aperture product. It's their like creator style. And I'll have that as a fill light. What I like to do is I can bring this light all the way over here. This is from a microphone. And then I walk down here, grab my chair, slide that over.
What's the chair you're rocking, if you even know?
Yeah, this is Sale from Herman Miller.
Manfrotto tripods, right?
Yep, Manfrotto tripod, Manfrotto
classic
head.
502 HD head.
And so this right here is a 35mm lens, 1.48.
I love your take on it.
It's my Aero lens. It's my Aero lens. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the number is. I splashed a little color behind me.
Same aperture as before.
Yep. For me, it's all about being just fast and agile to do these things. Actually, I gotta come into here, which is like my graveyard
the gear
of
drawer.
gear. Yeah, this is for our audio. I use the same input. The volume is already correct. The most expensive part of my setup, my childhood blankie that I still use right here to prevent echoing and things like that. Here we go.
Boom.
This is
That's Kevin the Tech Ninja right there.
This is kind of a stock setup. There is one change that I didn't show you guys. If I have a teleprompter, because I use a teleprompter. Not many people know that.
Now, what makes you choose a teleprompter versus not choose a teleprompter?
Depends on the video. When it's something that's spec heavy, like a cell phone, I want to make sure I'm getting it right. And the script is really a guide for me. I use this app right here. This is Prompt Smart. I have all my scripts right here. And then I have a script that I want. So for me, I hit play, this is the right speed. Everybody's waiting for Apple to make an AR headset, but I have a feeling we'll be waiting a long time for this.
Everyone knows that audio is even more important than the visuals. And if you're a Final Cut user, you definitely want to listen up, because Kevin shares his best kept plugin to create crispy audio.
The microphone that I use is going to be the Deity S2 Mini. Also, I have a Mix Pre 3, so if I do voiceovers at my desk, going into a microphone that is several years old. It's an Audio Technica. I don't know the name of it. It works well, it sounds good, and I'm comfortable with it. one of my secret sauces, I'm using a plugin, and the audio plugin makes everything, equalizes everything, levels it out, and a lot of times I can have different audio sources and it ends up sounding exactly the same. So here's the audio right now. Okay, get all this out the way, and here it sounds fine, but I use these audio plugins, and if I go to light, this is the one I like to use, and I drop it on here, here's the difference. All this out the way, and here it's subtle, but it adds a little bit more depth to it. So my studio is set up for efficiency. You know, I've designed it in such a way where I can get unique shots from the same spot, same location, but get unique looking shots. This right here is, I would say, my secret sauce, if you will. Number one, we got the C-stand that I have my camera attached to. And then with the C-stand, I'm running an HDMI cable and I'm running constant power. So I don't have to worry about battery life or anything like that. And then when I'm done with it, I just kind of spin it out the way. I have a rig to this monitor, which I can always see what's going on, which is really nice. So if I do like a top-down shot, this lens is a power zoom lens, so I can zoom in and out without actually moving the lens, so you don't get that shake. And also it's very wide too. So like a 16 mil on a full frame sensor. So if I have something big on the table, I can then have it very, very wide, or I can hold something very close to it and it still comes out good. And then I have this guy right here, which is my mic, which then I can just move in a range, so make sure it's out of frame or out of my shot, but I can still get crispy audio. Another thing that's secret sauce is actually something my wife made. These are called dojo mats. These are flat lay boards. And the reason I like using these things, because you get different scenes, and then you can actually flip it over and have a totally different look. One more thing about this table, it's a sit-stand table as well, so I can raise and I can lower it.
What do you use to shoot short form content?
I'm still a mix between my cameras and also my phone. Let's say I wanna do a vertical video, do this, and then I put this on here vertically. There we go, yep, tighten this down. And then I will easily just pop this guy off right here. I can easily get me a vertical video in just a couple of seconds right here, this way. With social being, you know, 720p vertical, shooting at 4K, I can punch in. Helps things to move and things to shift, because social, you only have a couple seconds to grab someone's attention.
Post-production is definitely where most of us spend our time, and I'm always curious not only by the editing software of choice, but also what they do with all of the files afterwards.
I took a video editing class in high school many moons ago, and ever since then I've been hooked. So I started off with Corel, then I went to Sony Vegas, Premiere, now Final Cut. I feel like I can use any video editing timeline. I just feel like it's the same concept, just different buttons in different spots.
And do you keep projects after you're done with them?
I have an 8 terabyte drive that I keep, and then every month I have a script that moves everything from my 8 terabyte drive to my bigger Synology drive that I have. And then my Synology drive has a script every 6 months. It cleans things up. So I don't keep things for years and years and years. I have an Apple folder, a Samsung folder, and anything in those two folders, those stay forever, because I want to be able to recall clips from a long time ago.
This is all powered off your MacBook, right?
Yeah, this is all powered by my MacBook. Using one Thunderbolt cable is going into a Thunderbolt dock that's down here in this messy situation. But I have my whole YouTube studio set up on one laptop. And the reason I went with a laptop, because when I travel, I can I can just unplug it and I have everything I need. I can use this on the road. I can use this anywhere I want. And I don't feel the need for a powerful desktop, because this has an M1 Pro, which if I buy a desktop, a Mac desktop, will have that same chip in it anyways.
Admittedly, I'm someone who always thought that as soon as you cross that 100K mark, life just becomes super easy. But it was actually really interesting to talk to Kevin to see what life as a creator actually becomes after you receive your silver plaque. What's one thing your viewers probably wouldn't know about your process?
How agonizing it is over titles and thumbnails, that I can spend 2 days on a thumbnail, I can spend a day on a title, I can change a title 3 or 4 times after it goes up. Because the way I look at it, man, like, you can spend so much time on a video, it could be the most beautiful video, but if that thumbnail doesn't grab that person's attention as they scroll, that video would just kind of just sit there. And I know you ran into that before. I remember you had a video that absolutely banged. It was your iPhone.
Using an iPhone 12.
Yeah, as a cinematic camera. And then you were like, I gotta figure it out. And then your next few videos bombed. And you're like, I don't get it. And I don't comment when I see things like that, because that is the things you experience as a creator as you grow. You're not gonna think that is the new norm. Like, you're gonna have these ebbs and flows. So my Quest 2 video did 100K in like 4 hours.
Oh my God.
I know, I didn't, it was just a throwaway video, because like every time I went to Best Buy to pick something up, people were buying Quest. left and right, left and right, left and right. I'm like, dude, there has to be something here, so I'm gonna try it. So what I did was like, the first 5 things you do with the new Quest 2, and I released it on Christmas. It went bonkers. It went absolute bonkers, and then it died. Man, the biggest YouTube myth, once you reach 100K, from there, everything blows up and you get more subscribers, it becomes easy. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a constant grind, and I think it's a lot of hard work, great timing, and then luck that kind of comes into play at the same time. I think that's the misconception right there.
What do you do when a video flops?
When a video flops, I cry. No, seriously, the first thing I do when a video is not doing well, like from the beginning, I try to change the title. And then if the thumbnail doesn't follow my expectations of a thumbnail, I try to rework that thumbnail somehow. And then at the end of the day, I just start focusing on the next video because I can't harp on it too long. You throw it out there to the YouTube gods and whatever happens, happens.
Your studio is super awesome. I appreciate just stumbling in here, and thanks for answering all my questions. And yeah, anything you want to say to me?
Yeah, get the out of my house.
So what is going on? I've seen people do videos on this ridiculous monitor, but what are your thoughts on it?
It's too much. For me to look at the time, I have to that is a lot of, like, my neck hurts using this monitor, and it is ridiculous. I actually tried to set it vertical just to see, and it hits the ceiling.
What's going on in there?
Yeah, 3090 Ti, i9 processor, 128 gigabytes of RAM.
Jeez.
Funny story behind this, since we're telling all stories, a computer was sent to me, a very high-end computer was sent to me by MSI, and their cooler was broken. I reached out several times about their cooler being broken, and they ghosted me. They ghosted me for months. So it was like 4 months in of me reaching out to them, and they never replied. So I just bought a cooler, bought a case, and I have a new computer. It's like a $5,000 computer that literally they didn't want to fix it. I don't ask questions at this point.
And by the way, MSI, if you're listening, the computer's not coming back.
Statute of limitations, guys. We're way too far gone.